This is the Spider Tanks Esports Show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Spider Tanks Esports Show. This is part 2 of our conversation with the Spider Tanks developers and CuriousHero.
And if you haven't heard part 1, make sure to go check that out. But as promised, here's the highly anticipated part 2 discussion with the devs. I'm excited for esports to come out. As soon as it comes out, I'm getting a team together. And I think my first draft pick is probably going to have to be Robin if he can play in the league.
Oh man, I have to make time for that.
You don't have to come to practice, okay? You're the franchise player. You just got to show up to the tournament, okay?
All right. Yeah, that could work.
Okay,
but it's kind of. I think people are gonna say that I set it up. What?
Well,
yeah. We need you too, Dittmar.
I mean, we can't have Dittmar. Then they'll know we're cheating. All right, we have to keep it. We have to keep it subtle, you know.
If we win, it's going to be Okay, maybe I won their own prize money. Or what is this?
What? Oh yeah, yeah. I think we cannot play. That wouldn't be fair.
We'll find a workaround. We'll get Robin to alt or something. Get him some glasses with the nose and mustache. Yeah.
Definitely.
Who's the best player at the office there at GameDia? Would you say?
I'm checking what his name is in Discord.
Yeah, I'll answer this. I think it's either Robin or I think, can we call this real name? I think it's.
I was finding his handle. It's probably Baron, Spider Baron. That is.
Oh, okay.
Baron.
Gotcha.
Spider Baron, I challenge you to a 1v1. Winner is the best player.
He plays a lot.
Plays quite a lot. I think he plays the most of us. Maybe.
Does he play more than Even Wave? That is the question.
Oh, I know. I don't think so.
I don't think anyone plays more than Even Wave.
No.
Can you guys see how much people play? And if so, who's played the most in the community?
I'm not sure if you can see it on an individual basis right now, because that's a privacy thing. But we can see a lot of data. Yeah, we have.
Okay,
Gotcha.
okay.
I didn't know if you knew.
But we don't see hours played, so it's going to be guessing it to see who plays.
Okay,
gotcha.
But I think even maybe you must be up there. Definitely.
I was curious. There's some people like J-Key and Typhoon and who have been playing since the early betas that they still grind to this day. I mean, there's
DDAC,
yeah, DDAC.
Yeah, I saw some statistics a while ago, and I can tell the rating is pretty high for this game. So people tend to play longer in this game than pretty much any other game.
Mm.
It's too fun. Like, you can't not play.
It's a good sign. It's a good sign for us.
Yeah, it really is. Can you talk a little bit about the plans you might have for like ranks in the game? Like, like whatever they would be called, diamond, platinum, whatever.
Yeah, these are the standard names. But no, we have different names for them. And yeah, we do have Elo coming up. We have it almost fully implemented now. We're around the testing phase, I would like to have that in the game soon. But it's a bit tricky with matchmaking right now. And after Mayhem, everyone seems to be taking the break, and matchmaking already has a lot of rules hanging onto it. There's a battle rating. It's the level of the tanks that makes matchmaking a little bit longer, because we want to match up people with similar tank levels. We don't want people with super high ping to be playing in the same match. There's a bunch of matchmaking rules. Also, we don't want solo players to face party players too much. There's already quite some rules. Now we're going to add Elo. We need more players for that. So call your friends.
Yeah.
But to come back on the personal stats you wanted, Elo is going to be one of them. Of course, you're going to have a rank that you're going to be able to rank up or down, depending if you win or not. And you will be matched up against people with similar ranks. And then the main menu will have a profile page in which you can start building up your profile. We already had people playing for a very long time. They will have to start from scratch again. So that's it's a bit sad, but other than that, you're still going to be one of the first ones starting up with this profile. And it's going to just show how many wins you had, how many losses, your win-loss ratio, your kills, your kill-death ratio, how much damage you did over your lifetime, how much you're pairing, how much time you spent holding a flag, how much chickens you collected or delivered, I guess.
That's great. I
what
can't
your
wait.
highest rank has been, stuff like that.
Luckily for me, I've been keeping track of all my stats. I currently have 14 million kills and like 17 deaths.
Right. You have just a little tally that every time you get a kill, you stop and make another tally mark.
Every single time.
Just send us that sheet. We'll just put it in your profile.
Yeah.
Perfect. I knew we could work something out.
And it doesn't even surprise me, honestly, because like during week 1 of Mayhem, it was like, in order to keep track of how many matches you played, you had to do that. So that doesn't surprise me.
Week 1 of Mayhem. That's like, man, that was a time. What a time to be alive. Like, everyone's going to remember where they were week 1 of Mayhem.
Yep.
Yeah. So actually on that, let me hijack this for a second. What do you guys think is, from a game perspective, but also, within Discord, within the community, what do you guys think, including, the GAMEDIA guys, like, what can we do to represent that hell of a week or even month that was called May? What can we do for the players as far as, like, is there something like in game that we could put a badge on them that said, I survived, or like, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think like a 102 club badge or something would be really cool, or a roll or something, because that was a real feat,
that was a feat.
if you played that, I rarely do people work that many hours in a week, like that was a feat to really get 102. So I think like a roll or a badge or something would be cool for 102 club. I don't know. That's an interesting question. What do you think?
A cosmetic skin would be incredible. That would be above and beyond.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Well, for us, this feels a bit like a typical GAMEDIA moment. Like we know it was bad, but we tried to make some fun out of this eventually. So if you cannot laugh about it, too bad for you. But I think we'll come up with something, just like the shooty boom or any other jokes we prepared for you guys in this game. So there will be something to be remembered.
Awesome.
Yeah, we still have everyone, all the list of all the Gala IDs that did that, that did play the 102 matches a day for a week.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I was so good at spider tanks, like going into week 2. Like I just felt like I was incredible. Like I felt like Alien X. Like I was just wild.
Yeah, I had it just in complete muscle memory by that point.
Yeah. I played with my eyes closed all week 2. Like I was just nice.
Actually, I was really, really surprised to see how many people did play all the games. There was a
like
long list.
130 a day.
I thought there's going to be one guy is crazy enough to do this. Nobody's going to.
Actually, hey, I got a really good idea. What if you guys created an ability that only was allowed for those players or those, people that went through that time period, that like basically drained the opponent's energy or something?
It would be really topical, yeah.
Speaking of that actually
Nice.
brings up a good idea. I don't remember who I was talking to about it, but they were talking about potentially an item like a grenade or something that would drain energy. Like that would that would take away energy, and that's really interesting because like if you were to take away someone's energy before a big team fight, that could definitely change like the landscape of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting ability.
I think that's pretty interesting. I'll should keep that in mind. We have a bunch of ability changes coming. But it could also just be a change to an existing ability that is now a bit underwhelming.
Yeah.
So, hey, Robin, on that note with the abilities and stuff. So right now, I don't know how many abilities we have. Is it like close to 10?
I'll have to check that. I don't know.
It's more than that. It's more like 16.
I think it's over 10.
Yeah.
Also, the use of the abilities changes over time pretty drastically. By adding new tanks, sometimes people tend to switch their abilities because it fits better. We had a time we have the teleportation ability. It was used all the time with the shotgun and with the flamethrower. But right now it's not heavily used anymore because there's a new or better ability, or it fits better with a certain hero tank or something. It shifts quite a bit.
And I also think that the meta will change once the community and player base experiments with different things. Like last week, I was playing a lot with Grappling, and before I never really thought about Grappling like that. But after playing with it and like seeing the implicate, like what you can actually do with it, I'm like, wow, this is like a must run in certain scenarios. So I think that like different things like wall, like we don't see it that much. But I think it's because people don't know how to use it and like how impactful it can actually be.
Yeah, I think esports is also going to shed more light on that, on how useful some of these.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Sorry.
I think I've run into teams that work very well together, also on the abilities end. So there's one guy who throws a force field, and another one throws the airstrike on top of it.
Yeah, Vortex Airstrike is one of the combos.
And I think there are more combinations possible within a very good team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree.
I don't know.
People are also sleeping on the reactive plating. That's people are sleeping on that ability.
Oh my goodness! Finally, someone had to say it. Right? Like, oh my goodness! Yes, reactive plating Brainstormer on Santa Slay was just incredible. It was so fun.
Yeah, it is. It is in some situations. It's just so good. Also against some weapons that do, damage in that kind of speed. If you have burst weapons against you, it's going to be a little bit hard because you might die before you blow up. But
unless you have a heavy body, but then you have to get in close.
I might have to give reactive plating a second try then.
I played it today with since we're in this 1v1, and I went up against a couple like Gatling gun and a couple different ones, and because it's 1v1, I just bum rushed right into them, turn on the plating and nuked them. So
yeah, that works really well. I like combining it with like invisibility because you want to get close to people, but if you blink into people, you have to wait till you get enough energy back to use the reactive plating too.
Oh yeah.
But if you use a bit invisibility, you can use it and then flank around, get close to them, then pop the plating and start just poking them until they shoot you back out of panic, and then they just explode. If you do that against a team, because when you pop a reactive plating, you have a little bit more damage resistance.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
A lot of it will get stored into your plating before it gets before it explodes. I think it's 20%.
So it's a little bit of a shield then. Could you?
It's like 20% of the damage you get will be stored into your explosion. So the more damage you get, the more damage the explosion will also do.
Okay. Could you explain a little bit about how reactive plating works? Just it's like you activate it, and it starts flashing, and then like what is it? After a certain amount of time, it explodes, and then within its radius, it deals damage on them.
Yeah. So you pop it, and you will be slightly slower while it's active. And then, for example, if you get shot by a cannon, you would have an X amount of damage. Let's say 1,000, and then 20% of this 1,000 damage will be you will not receive, and will be stored into the reactive plating itself instead, and that will build up for the duration of the reactive plating ability. At the end of the duration, it will just explode outwards. Its base damage plus all the damage it's stored by getting.
Okay. So it saves
can
their
equally
damage,
play.
and then it has a base damage of its own. And however many times they shot you, like you want them to shoot you as much as possible and not die. And then it explodes, and then it puts
Yeah.
20 about 20% back out on them.
It explodes the full amount of the damage you have stored plus a base amount of damage, if I remember correctly.
Gotcha. So it absorbs 20% of damage, but it explodes out 100% that you took in.
It explodes out the absorbed damage. Yeah. So yeah, you're technically right. Yeah, 20% of the damage you have received in that time.
Okay, gotcha.
When we take percentages into this, it gets a little bit complicated maybe to listen to. But
I see.
It is inspired by the Dota 2 hero Abaddon, who has a shield he can pop and also absorb some damage and explodes outwards. We do actually take a lot of inspiration from other games like MOBA games and also games like hero shooters like Overwatch. There's a lot of really fun things that we can see in there and that we can just take inspiration from.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily copy paste it because that doesn't work so well in Spider Tanks. But there's definitely inspiration out there.
Gotcha.
So far, the strongest strat that Even Wave and I have found is triple grapnel. It is just so lethal. Like if you get one person, they're dead. It's nothing they can do.
Chain
like,
grapnel.
Especially if you chain CC it perfectly, it is just so strong.
The thing about grapnel is if you use the grapnel, you're also out. And if the enemy hero sees that, they can just as well focus you down as your team can focus the other one down.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
also does the heavier tank win the tug of war?
No.
It doesn't.
No.
It seems like it does. I feel like whenever I'm in heavy tanks and I have like a flea or something, they just get yanked across the screen. But whenever it's like a heavy versus heavy, it seems like it's almost a stalemate.
It is affected by movement speed, but it's not. I don't think that's a thing.
Okay.
Unless someone put it in without me knowing, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Also, so with Vortex Zone, it also seemed like heavier tanks didn't get pulled in at the same rate. It seems like lighter tanks get just sucked in instantly, but heavy tanks, they can almost fight and get out almost.
Actually, yeah, I think that is true. I think, but it's not a intended side effect. That's because the knockback we have on the thing that affects your movement, like grapnel and also the vortex, it basically is modified by your own movement speed. So if you have a slow tank, you will be moved slower automatically. It's an unintended side effect, but I think it works, I guess.
It does. It works with the physics, so it makes sense conceptually. That's cool.
Yeah,
gotcha. I've been wondering. I've been thinking about the maps a lot lately, especially since I've been trying to kind of figure out lore and stuff like that. But I've noticed that, the maps are designed so well as far as just like the way everything's kind of timed out with battle and stuff like that. I've always been curious, like what kind of thought process goes into designing a map in terms of the features of the map affecting the gameplay.
Mm-hmm. We do want to have some balance in the effectiveness of weapons, of course, in the map. There's some maps that have more structures for arced weapons to shoot over. Mm-hmm. There's some maps that have more free space, like Arctic Research and Arctic Base, that more long-range weapons will shine in. So there's going to be some that we thought about those things, of course. But the way we do this is by. You want to go ahead?
Oh, go finish. I will finish later.
The way we do this, we do this map design process is we make a bunch of really simple looking gray box kind of maps first. Just fill it in with, you just put a floor in and make some general structures, and then we test those a couple of times. And we have some feedback iterations in between where everyone can leave their ideas, everyone here at the office. And say, hey, this area might need another structure, or this structure is too tall, or whatever. And then afterwards, our conceptor will take this gray box and sketch some really cool things over it, put it in a theme, think about lore, think about all these things, and we fill it in. We test it a couple more times, and then we have it out there. So the thought process that affects it is, of course, the weapons and how they shoot and the distance. And we all want a certain size to be in there. And all the other game modes that we have, and also the new upcoming game modes, should also work in these maps. Because we don't want because we're selling maps and people are going to be owning these maps that people are going to be playing on. So we don't want any new game modes or new maps to be affecting or to be different. We don't want any maps to earn more just because there's more game modes playable on that map. So every map should be equal in that case.
Yeah, I never really thought about that.
Speaking of maps and game modes, I think the 1v1 game mode is super fun right now. But have you guys thought about making like a specific 1v1 map for like if and when 1v1 stuck around in the future?
Not at this moment just yet. I think when we gain a certain amount of players, we will add the feature that people can choose a little bit more between specific game modes, or they can say, I just want to skip on the chicken chase, or just do only 1 versus 1, or 3 versus 3, or maybe even 10 versus 10 in the near future. So I think at that time we will look at making specific maps, because it might be good to have a 1 versus 1 map, or even a bigger map that can contain a lot more players, like 50 against 50 or so, something chaotic. Just be king of the hill or something like that. It would be really cool.
Most definitely.
That does sound awesome. A 50-person like King of the Hill free-for-all match.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Awesome. That sounds so crazy. Like,
probably be a bit heavy on the server, etc. But we'll see. We see about that problem later. And also, just want to add on the how we make the maps and how we test it out. We've done a lot of research for Stoda, because that's a really complicated game to create. Because normally you can only walk on the ground, and in this game you can pretty much walk on everything, upside down, etc. And we tried and learned a lot about level design during that period. So I think the way we've had to create the maps for spider tanks is much more simple, and we could pretty easily create these levels, like the way Robin said, and we thrown a lot of levels that didn't work out well, just away, and we tried something new.
Yeah, I've always noticed with the maps, just like it inspires a certain type of flow.
Well, I think it's like you said, saying there is a certain flow in such levels, and there are a lot of things that you have to keep in mind to create such a level. Where do you put the health boxes, for example, or where do you make it more narrow, or where do you make it more open? There's a lot of things you have to keep in mind and put it all together in the right way.
Yeah.
But for spider tanks, it's pretty easy. For Stoda, it was really, really, really hard.
Oh yeah, I could imagine. Also, I wanted to ask you, what's been going on with Spider Friday? I saw some people asking about it in the Discord.
Well, the Spider Friday, we made it up because we knew everybody was waiting on its silk and on the release of the game. So we thought, we knew a certain date the game would be released. So we thought, in the meantime, we can fill a couple of weeks with Spider Friday with some content, etc. And right now we put it on pause a bit. We don't want to do it every week because it took quite some time to create, to think about it, and we had some meetings about this. So it delayed us more than we wanted to. So I think we'll post some Spider Fridays eventually again, but not on a regular basis like we done before, because it took way too much time for it.
Gotcha. I wanted to ask you all just like what your favorite map and favorite build was. Would you want to do something like that?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But,
yeah, I guess the question would if I could like add to the question specifically for 1v1s, like I guess if you had to take something into a 1v1, or would you want to answer for just like overall, just like in the game?
Either way, I was going to do overall, but the 1v1 question is pretty good too.
Yeah, I need the secret cheat code. How do I beat everyone in 1v1?
I think there are some weapons that are definitely better in 1v1s. Like I really like the Scorpion weapon because it has some really good kiting potential where you could hit someone and then kind of take distance again because they cannot get to you.
Yeah.
But the problem with this gun is it's just a projectile weapon. So if there's an arced weapon or shocker user that can just use structures to its advantage, kiting you around these, and you would not be able to hit them, and they will be able to hit you.
Yeah.
Then you're kind of screwed. So you want to equip abilities that can help you overcome these weaknesses that come with your weapon. And for the relay drone really comes to mind, where you can just get really close to them anyway. If they're an arced weapon user, they're just screwed over anyway. If you get close to them, and if you then the counter to someone blinking on you is just to have mobility for yourself. So they have to have either a blink to get away from you or use some nitro. Using nitro is going to be hard or the speed booster is going to be hard when you're using a Scorpion weapon, which slows them down. But that's already countering that. I like that combination. And I also like using a little bit heavier bodies, or at least medium, because it has this energy gain. And I think the abilities are just so strong and so game-changing. And you have to combine that in a good way. I'm not sure what the best 1v1 build would be.
Laser
Titan, apparently, according to Even Wave.
Well,
and I don't disagree. I do not disagree.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm still the verdict's still out on that one. I remember in the tournament build, we determined it was Shark Stinger, and that was before teleport existed. And so we just had the speed boost, and it was basically with Shark Stinger, as long as you could get close enough where you could speed boost at them and catch them, as long as you could hit them one time, you could kill them before they could kill you with just about anything. That was a really good
But
one.
how would you beat Laser Titan?
Well,
Like,
D-Dac beat me earlier with it.
But he had a laser though, you know?
Yeah, but he had a slightly faster body, so I mean.
You could use their projectile it has a disadvantage. Structures are their weakness. So if you can get structures in between you and the Titan user, which is going to be pretty easy with high mobility, get a fast body, get around structures with like a rocket artillery or a brambler, then they cannot move unless they blink on you. But then you just blink away too. You equip a blink and something, and you're going to be golden. I think I could consistently beat a Titan laser with a build designed to beat a Titan laser.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that's true with any weapon in the game. You know, if you knew exactly, which is why esports are going to be so like awesome. Like the pick and ban phase, like what you choose to play on certain maps, like it's going to be a real science to what gets picked and what's played.
Yeah.
It's also a bit of a mind game.
Oh yeah, because you're right. Like those bramble, like a bramble or something with an arc can take out a laser, but then you have to worry about like a shotgun or a flamethrower easily taking you out. You know.
Yeah, that's why you have teammates that can fill the gaps for you.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Don't bet on one.
What about you, Dittmar? Do you have a favorite build?
But not for the 1v1 level, because I think for the 1v1 you need kind of a weapon that can take out a player pretty quickly, because otherwise he can run through the health boxes and can regain his health again. So in that levels, I would probably take something that would do massive damage in a short amount of time. But overall, my favorite weapon is still, I think, the lava launcher and the chicken.
Okay.
Guzzy says that lava launcher needs a buff. What do you think about that?
Well, it could use a little bit of a buff, but I think
No way. You too. Oh my god.
I kind of think it needs a
Well-
little bit of a buff too, but that's just I don't know.
you gotta hit it. You have to land quite some shots on somebody to do damage. I use it a bit differently. I try to force people to make a certain decision. So I fire some lava balls in a direction I don't want them to go, and I fire the last one in the direction I want them to go. So I only hit 1 or 2 lava balls, and it takes a while before them to die.
Yeah, the one of the things, and I guess you can probably confirm it, the damage over time for each lava ball, they don't stack, right?
Yeah, they don't.
No, they don't.
Okay, yeah, because
If they did,
it makes
that would be ridiculous. That would be like,
yeah,
because now if you time it perfectly, I think you can kill like a 10,000 like health body with around like 4 lava shots if you like let them fully tick out. You know, but that takes like a lot of time and
you have to do it
patience,
slowly.
and tactical ability. But
hmm
if you were to buff it, Dittmar, where would the buff be? Like in what area?
I think just the damage when you hit.
Not the damage over time, just the initial damage.
Initial damage, yeah. The damage over time is already good, I think.
Yeah, man,
that's maybe a bit annoying, but I think that's pretty good right now.
Yeah, I don't disagree with I think lava is okay. It's good where it is. However, I do understand the ancient nature of it. So if it was a little slightly stronger powered, you know, I wouldn't be too opposed to it, you know.
Right. Yeah, I could go either way with it, honestly.
Yeah. But I think it's really good. I think it might be like one of the best weapons in the game already. Like I think if you put the lava launcher in the hands of like the best player, like one of the best players, you'll be able to see like, which probably makes sense as to why you like it, because you know you guys did make the game. So
yeah, and also the weapons I do like are the more skilled weapons, like the turtle chainsaw. It is pretty hard to get it right, but once you get it right and you time it right, it's a really powerful weapon. And
super strong.
Oh yeah.
I think over time, when people get better in this game, you'll probably see more skilled people getting into weapons like this. And I think from that point on, it will get more interesting, especially for the esports part.
I agree.
Also to watch. If you see people land every shot perfectly and time it perfectly, it would be really nice to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to fast forward probably just a couple months and see how good people are at this game. They probably will never miss you watch an esports tournament and like, you know, the finals, like nobody misses a shot or something like that. I could totally see that happening.
That would be really cool.
And I love one of my favorite things about the game as well is that like from our current understanding, we've put hours into the game and we've came up with multiple strategies, but there's still so many different combinations that that are like super strong like right now that we have no idea about. And it's going to take so many different people to come and start using it. Like you guys said you took inspiration from certain games. When I first saw, I keep bringing up Wall because it's like one of the least used abilities, but I think it's just so good. Like it reminds me of like a Nivea wall, and it stays up for so long. Like if anything, I think the wall probably is going to end up getting nerfed. Honestly, it just stays up too long. You can block off an entire bridge or a retreat path for like, it feels like 7 seconds. Like it feels like 7 to 10 seconds. Like it's just so long.
Yeah, and also for some weapons, I like the Snoop Dogg, the boombox. I see people play with that weapon and I feel it's overpowered and then okay, but I can choose this weapon as well. So when I'm trying to kill people with it, I have a pretty hard time. I'm not very good with this.
I know what you mean.
And I'm the same with Shocker.
Yeah. Some people are really good with weapons, and then I think, all right, I'm gonna switch to another weapon. I'm gonna try it out myself, but it really doesn't work for me. So eventually, I come back to the lava launcher or the chicken again.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Shocker is like one of the strongest weapons in the game. Whenever everyone was playing with the Shockers, it was just crazy. And I'm like, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. I'll just play with the Shocker and I'll be as good as everyone. But I was just terrible. Like 1 kill. Like.
Yeah, sometimes it looked easy, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Curious? What's your favorite build?
Well, I guess go back to the first. I think it was the first NFT I ever bought, which was the healer. I always get shit for it, but I'm one of those guys that I like to heal, but I also like to kill with it. So
That sounds like you're playing it right to me.
There is a time to kill with repair artillery, and you can be most like if your team is full health, then I say go all out for offense, and then as soon as you see an engagement start to happen, then you can start thinking about healing. But I think that's using the healer to max efficiency. If you do it like that.
I mean, the way that I look at it is when, if it's an artillery type of weapon, as the team is approaching, as the opponent's approaching, I try to get at least one or two on them.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of knock down their health, and then I focus in on my guys. But I'll tell you what, like, there's a big difference. I've played with a lot of players with being a healer, and it's really easy to tell the guys that understand how the healer works the best. So like, for example, Tidal Swarm, he plays shotgun usually, or Sinister Grin, these guys that play, close, shotgun fire, flamethrower, but they'll kind of like pull themselves back a little bit to get back within my range, and then they'll let we're just in sync, and it's a big difference when you have players like that understand the limits of the healer, but also how to use it appropriately. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I feel like a lot of people don't know that the healer, even if you miss the shot, if you stand in the healing circle, you get a lot like healing. Like you still receive passive healing.
Right.
Like I see a lot of people, because when I play with healer, that's like the one thing that I feel like people don't recognize. Like if I miss a shot, just go stand in the health circle and I'll hit there again, and you'll catch the next one and you'll still get some healing,
Yeah,
There's
and I'd be remiss to not mention the crossbow, because that's my other favorite one.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that first.
I mean, it might be the strongest weapon in the game, honestly. Crossbow.
Yeah, but also the bouncer. I just used it myself a week ago, because I thought this weapon was totally sucky and nobody will use it. And I think Curious said the bouncer is pretty good.
It is pretty strong.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
So I went to the shootable arena, tried it out a bit. Wow, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's honestly.
I almost would say this is OP.
It is. It's going to be my next. It's going to be the next NFT that I buy for sure. I mean, it's unfortunately I try to play the free rotational tanks, and then this 1v1 that we're doing. I picked the bouncer because I just love it, and I was like, oh, great.
Yeah, and 1v1.
Nobody to bounce off.
Yeah, it's pretty underpowered in that sense. One of the best use cases for bounce gun is when you have a really tightly grouped team and they have a healer who's positioning really well behind their team, and there's like no way that you can get back there and kill the healer. That's what bounce gun is great for, because you just hit the person in front, and you will still hit the healer in the back.
Nice.
Whenever I'm playing healing weapons, I always feel like my teammates are trying to dodge my projectiles.
Yeah,
you need to combine a finisher with the healer, so you have a homing healing projectile.
I think we need to start a thing where we just tell our teammates, like, if you want health, stand next to the enemy. Like, just stand on the hitbox of the enemy. So if I'm hitting somebody, I'm gonna shoot the enemy, and you're gonna get health at the same time.
That's not a bad way to think about it. Like going back to the players that understand, like I was meditated. I know you guys had him on the show. What was it, the week or two before? And one of the matches we were in was just some newer players, but he had flamethrower and I think chicken legs, and I think he got 35 kills with me. I was just standing still, and he would like run around, and I would just toss a heal at him as he was running around, but got like 35 kills that one time.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, Meditator loves the pocket heal. Like, that's his forte.
Yeah.
Because then he could just run around like a madman and just go all out.
Yeah.
Well, you guys we've been recording for over 2 hours now. So you guys want to wrap it up?
I remember
agree.
that we said
Yeah.
like, no, it's going to be like 30 minutes. 40
Yeah, 20,
minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah, we can get it done, no problem.
I'm
Y'all
sure you
always
guys could
talk about
talk
the
for a
best
lot
stuff, though.
longer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many questions I could ask you all, but I know you all have
We
things
could
to
talk
do.
about this all day.
I know, I could too.
I'm glad we did it here and not on Galaverse, though. That's way better now.
Yeah, probably better sound quality and not as rushed feeling and stuff like that.
Not as
Yeah,
drunk.
much
Yeah,
better.
that too. Probably a little more coherent. Hey, thank you all so much for joining us on the show.
It's been our pleasure, man. It was actually really fun.
Yeah.
Man, it was fun. Let's do this again in the near future.
Can I do a shout out to the rest of the GAMEDIA crew? We have Spider Mechanic, Spider Baron, Spider Duke. They all have been really good, good GAMEDIA guys. Oh, and Spider Magician, of course, also hanging around in the Discord, and more hidden people. Shout out to them; they're doing really great work.
We love you
I
all.
agree. Yeah, we have a very solid, great team.
Yeah, even it was indeed it was fun to be on again as usual, and awesome to have the GAMEDIA guys, and definitely want to have a shout out to you two for hosting this show. Always a pleasure to be on and to hear these amazing guests.
We'll have to get together again sometime and do another episode potentially.
Oh yeah, there's so much
Sure.
could ask you all. We'll definitely have to do it again sometime. Again, I'd really like to thank Dittmar, Robin, and CuriousHero for coming on the show and talking to us. It was really awesome to get to talk to them and, get like a special insight into the game, and also, look at some stuff that's going to be coming up soon.
Yeah, it's always a great time having these conversations with the dev team. Like being involved in the Discord, they hop in there all the time in like odd hours of the night for me, and they'll sit with the community and like watch streams and like talk about the game and stuff. So it's finally good to like get something recorded and put out for the community members who might not be around to hear those conversations.
Yeah.
So if you guys like this format of talking to the devs, hopefully we can get them back on in the future.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would love that. Also, hopefully next time we can take some questions from the community as well.
Next time.
But yeah, that's it. See you later, everybody.